One other thing that has really been brought up is just the tragic amount of violence that occurred last year towards many of us that were protesting for our rights. And we're not even going to go into HB1 because that's a federal issue. I mean, sorry, state level issue. So that doesn't even have to do with city council, but I'm sure that they're thrilled to death that it's prospectively going to pass to suppress our free speech. The violence that a lot of people faced, especially Black and Indigenous people last year, I mean, people hit by cars, rubber bullets, irritants, pepper spray, all the things that were happening at the hands of the Tampa Police Department. They were not only rewarded with more funding, there was never any discipline for any of that, even though Dugan was shown to have caused an increase of use of force since he's taken over the role. Recently, we saw in the news a Tampa resident that is a veteran has suffered a severe brain injury as a result of rubber bullets going against him from our TPD that we pay. So to put that in other words, we paid a department to injure a veteran. So for a country that supports our troops, and we have people like Councilmember Cicho that says he will always back law enforcement. We have people like Councilmember Vieira that says we don't need to defund the police. What does that say about how he feels about our veterans? And then when we look about this lawsuit that's going on against TPD as a result, this is only one person that was able to secure an attorney. What does this say for all the people that were probably injured that either don't know how to navigate the legal system or don't have access to the legal system for whatever reason? Maybe they're undocumented, maybe they're afraid of it, maybe they don't speak enough English to understand what's going on. That being said, what are your thoughts about the severe amount of force TPD is using? And how do you feel city council, even though they technically, as they will tell us over and over, they don't run TPD, it's on the mayor. How do you feel their complicity and decision to continue to fund TPD over and over exacerbates this issue, Karen?
Well, I mean, the more funding, the more they're able to do the foolery, I guess I'll refer to it for now, because that literally just gives them more money to buy more munitions, because there's the one person that's receiving the attention media wise because they're a veteran, because it was a very sustained, terrible injury that they've suffered. But the three of us here know people otherwise that were harmed by some of these things. I remember a couple of people had gotten like skin burns and things from the canisters hitting them or the rubber bullets hitting them. So to see that they're giving the police more funding for it, I think it unfortunately is coming from a place of fear and anxiety, because they're like, oh, we can't have these people doing stuff like this in the streets, so to speak. And especially the champs that got burned down, which there's still quite a bit of speculation that it might have been agent provocateurs that were part of that. So things like that unfortunately happen, and that then gives them their reason for why they're increasing the funding to use force like that against people. And like you said, we're not going to talk about HB1. Well, it's now SB 484 because it is now in the Senate, right? Because that is a statewide issue. But on a local level, we're not going to see it. But I would like to have seen more local officials speaking out against that, which we have seen some, but not a lot of widespread opposition, unfortunately.
That's a good point. I just want to say, now that you said that, Commissioner Kim Overman did make a statement against it. I have yet personally, I'm just saying I personally haven't seen any member of city council speak against it.
No.
I don't want to take time on that. So Sam, to the original question.
Sure. Well, first of all, I mean, if we're talking about excessive force, I was there the day that this man was shot in the head. Fortunately, not close enough to have been shot myself. I was away from that, but I was, I guess you could call it running triage. I was in a parking lot and getting all the kids who were suddenly running back. They were getting shot. They were being gassed, and I was trying to take care of them as best as I could. And I do remember the air was carrying tear gas. It's designed so it can be, carried along the winds. And of course, we're right by the water. And I stopped being able to breathe just from like a little whiff of it. People around me stopped being able to breathe. I have had double pneumonia before in both of my lungs, so I know what that feeling's like. And I couldn't imagine someone with asthma or any kind of respiratory issue being exposed to that, let alone the fact, considering we're in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic with a virus that has respiratory qualities. I mean, the tear gas alone could easily kill people. None of these non-lethal weapons, it's so intelligence insulting that we even call them non-lethal. And I frankly think that we should just stop, because they're weapons. They're just weapons. And none of these things are being used properly. And even when they're used properly, they can still kill people.
Exactly.
In terms of what city council could be doing, I mean, Joe Citro, if I have him right, I would never want to misquote Joe Citro, but I believe it was something like, you know what? I think they should have more money, when pressed by Restorative Justice Coalition on the topic of defunding the police. He specifically said, no, I think they need to have more money. I can't really speak for some of the others. I think that it's more of an issue of not speaking out on the issue, but Joe, Joe could have kept quiet, and instead he had to make sure that we knew that he had a reprehensible take on this issue.
Absolutely.
And to my knowledge, I don't think any of them have spoken out on HB1. I do want to mention that it's Ben Crawford, who is the lawyer who has been taking this case and is asking other people to contact him to join in on this lawsuit if you've been affected by TPD violence.
Wonderful. Ben Crawford. So yeah, definitely any viewers here, if you know someone, refer them, or if it was you, it doesn't hurt to at least get that consultation.